Hello everyone, welcome to K21Academy. Today we will be performing this lab of enabling parallelism in Azure DevOps. So before performing this lab, let's understand it with a scenario where we can use this lab in our day-to-day lives within an organization or even for our personal use. So suppose you are a DevOps engineer or a solution architect or planning to become one, and you want that these parallelism should help you, then it will be used within your deployment of any resource within the Azure pipeline. So suppose you have been tasked to deploy some of the resources with the help of Azure pipeline, then you will get to know about why parallelism is required. And as soon as you deploy any pipeline, this parallelism should be enabled for either it is your public project or your private project. So this will help you to run or work on your pipelines when you are deploying any sort of resources. Either it can be on Kubernetes or within your Azure portal where you can deploy resources on web apps or virtual machines. So everywhere you need a parallelism to be enabled for your Azure pipelines. So before performing this lab, let's go through what you will get into the lab when you will perform further. So coming to contents part, over here we will see the introduction where we will talk more about agents or the parallelism or pipelines, because these are all interconnected, and with the help of that we will be able to get to know more about parallelism. Next we will be having documentation links where we will get the official documentation links of Microsoft. Further, we have prerequisite section where these prerequisites should met before performing this lab. Further, we will be creating a project and then importing a Git repository. We will talk why it is important to do so. Then further, we will be requesting the parallelism for private project and for public project. Once that is done, we will see how we can check whether parallelism has been availed for our account or not. Next, we will be sharing our learning. Further, we have troubleshooting section. So we will talk about everything when we will perform each of the section. So coming to introduction section, when we talk about parallelism, before talking about it, we should talk first on why agent is required, what exactly is agent and how this comes into picture. So when we talk about agent is simply any machine. It can be a Microsoft provided machine or even your personal machine, which will help you to build any project, because we have raw projects which is built on any hardware or operating system. If you build it personally and is not being automated, then it is simply built manually. Whereas when you use the pipelines to automate everything, then it comes under automation part. So the machine which is building your project from raw code to the final executable project or the files which can be used by end user to provide service. So that is called agent, which builds the project. So there are two types of agents. One is self-hosted agent, where you use your server or your machine to run the pipeline and will act as an agent to build project for you when you run any pipeline. Whereas when Microsoft is providing the computation power for building your project, then it is called as Microsoft hosted agent. So once you are aware of agent, we will talk about what are jobs. So whatever the task which you are trying to perform with the help of pipeline, or simply you can say any task which is been assigned to perform for creating a sequence of automation within a pipeline, is called as job. So these are set of multiple instructions which need to be performed one by one, and when these multiple jobs are being executed, then these are called parallel jobs. So when multiple jobs are run parallelly, then you need parallelism for your account. So this parallelism helps you to provide access to the computing power of your jobs to be performed by Microsoft hosted agent. Whereas when you are using your own server or your account, then you won't require parallelism. But when you are performing it with the help of Microsoft hosted agents, then you will need the parallelism. So earlier parallelism was granted freely without any permission. So Microsoft restricted it because of the misuse of parallelism for their personal use, such as they have what mentioned was the Bitcoin miners were using it for their personal use and earning, but the freely available pipelines were not being provided or not being effectively used for any learning purposes, which was causing their servers to go slow. So they found out a way how the correct user can get access for their parallelism, so that if they are using it for learning purpose or for any personal projects, then the free parallelism should be utilized properly. So when we will go through this activity guide, we will get to know how we can access the freely available parallelism. There are other options as well, like you can purchase the parallel jobs. We will also go through it, how we can purchase it, but Microsoft is also offering free parallelism where you can utilize that for your learning project or your personal use, where you want to deploy it for testing, deploy the testing part, or make any small projects or the personal projects which you want to showcase. So coming to official documentation links, if we talk about Azure DevOps or pipelines or parallelisms or what is Azure repos, we can go through these links to know more on it. Further, coming to prerequisite section, there are two prerequisites, which is first one, you need to have an active Azure account. That means you need to have an active subscription. The subscription can be pay as you go or a free trial or other subscription which are available, such as developer and Visual Studio based subscription. So all you need to have an active Azure account. If you don't have one, you can create a free trial account, and if you want to get the steps, you can follow this link of blogs and check out this blog. You will get the steps how you can create a free trial account. Next, you need to have an active Azure DevOps account. If you don't know how you can create, then you can follow this link of our blog and get a active Azure DevOps account. Once you have got a active Azure account, you need to set up a DevOps organization. So within your DevOps organization, when you create a Azure DevOps account, you will get how you can create a DevOps organization within your DevOps account. You can follow this blog, and within that you need to set up Azure DevOps organization. For that, you need to create a project within your DevOps portal, which we will look into the next step, how you can create a project. So project is something like when we see within our Azure DevOps portal, for these are the organizations. Within each organization, you can have multiple projects, and parallelism is granted on organization level. So for all of the organization which are available, each organization need to have the parallelism enabled individually, and that parallelism will work for all the projects available within that organization. So we will create a new project named as eShop on web, and further we will import a repo where we will configure this project. We will import a Git repo within our Azure repos, or you can also say we will import the repo within our project. So coming to our DevOps portal, here we will see that my organization name is mentioned and is selected. Now within this, we will click on new project and paste the project name, which is eShop on web. Now under visibility, we will leave it to private and simply proceed with creation of our project. Once that is done, we will jump on to the next section, that is importing of Git repository. So everyone might be wondering why we are doing this step, why importing or creating a project is required when we are performing the parallelism enabling part. So for that, let's open up the parallelism form which we need to fill up to get the grant of parallelism for our account. So for that, we will copy this URL of the form, and when we jump onto this form, we can see the requirement is we need to enter our name, then we need our email ID followed by the organization name and what kind of project we are working on. So if we want parallelism for our private project, when we were creating a project within our organization, there we found the option about visibility of project. If you are using the public project, then you can include or invite other members over internet to grant their access and contribute to your project. Whereas if you are going with private project, then the people available within your organization can contribute to your project and is not visible or been provided access to everyone. So this is what you can select for the types of project. And for DevOps organization name, this will be your organization name. So coming back, why we need to create this project. So for that, when you are filling the form for private parallelism, you don't need any kind of project to be created. Whereas when you go for a public project, you will need to enter the public repository link which you are trying to build. So that's why when we create our project within our organization, we will provide the link of our Git repo, which is we will be providing the repo link of our Azure repos. That's why we are creating the project within our organization. So coming back, we have done the creation of our project. Now we need to import a Git repository because we will be importing that repository within our Azure repos, or else our repo will be empty, and when we are filling this form, they check thoroughly about our project, and if they don't find any kind of repos within our Azure repo or any kind of files, then they will simply block or deny the permission for granting the parallelism permission. So coming back, we have copied this Git repo and we will click on import a repository within our Azure repos. So we will click on import and paste the repository which we have copied and simply click on import. So this will take few minutes to import the files which are available at this repository. So this is done. Importing has been successful. Earlier it was showing blank. Now we can see there are multiple files available within our Azure repos. So coming back, we have imported the repository. Now we will request the parallelism which is freely provided by Microsoft. If you have more requirement, then you can purchase one. So I will also show how you can view your parallelism permission. So for that, you need to first go to your home page of your organization, and within that click on organization settings. Then you need to scroll to the bottom of left pane, and under pipelines you will find parallel jobs. Now within parallel jobs, you will find the information about all of the parallel jobs. So for my organization currently, it is showing 0 out of 1800 minutes are consumed. So this has been provided with the free parallelism for my account. As we can see under private project, Microsoft hosted agent has free tier where one parallel job up to 1800 minutes per month has been allowed. Whereas for self-hosted, you won't find any. You can, because you can host multiple agents under self-hosted, so all of them will be mentioned over here. Now coming to public projects, over here also we can see for Microsoft hosted agents, there are 10 parallel jobs available for my organization, and for self-hosted you can create unlimited parallel jobs. Now if you want more parallel jobs for your projects, then you can simply click here on purchase parallel jobs, and under billing you will find multiple you can set up your billing and purchase the subscription for granting or getting more parallel jobs to be provided for your organization. Make sure this organization is different from the one which is being created within your Azure DevOps account. So this organization is separate from your Active Directory organization. So make sure you remember this thing. Now under billing, you can set up your billing and further purchase the parallel jobs for your organization or your Azure DevOps account. You can set up over here. You can get a detailed review of how much parallel jobs have been assigned. Over here we can see for basic users 5 is free, and for basic plus test plan you can go with this start free trial. Further you will need to purchase those, so you can set up billing and according to your usage you will be cost accordingly. But we are going for getting a free parallel job for our account, so we will be filling this form. Now coming to this section, for my organization there is already for private project or public project the parallelism has already been assigned. So we will change our organization to another organization so that we can fill up the form for that organization and see what process is required. So we will go with other organization which is available, which is Org DevOps 1. Now coming to organization setting, when we go through pipeline under parallel jobs, we can see the parallelism information. So for this organization, there are no parallel jobs, 0 parallel jobs for private project and 0 parallel jobs for public project. And for self-hosted, the stats are same as for our organization which had the parallelism enabled. So we will set up this organization for getting the repo information, the parallel jobs enabled. Over here, when we are inside this organization, we will open up this eShop on web project, and within this we will see repos. Repos are available, so we will enter within our form we will enter the name. As we have copied the URL, we will be going through our form, and over here we will fill the information. So first section is we need to provide the user name, not exactly the username, but our name on which the account has been created. Further, we need to provide the email ID. This will be hidden for you just for security purposes. Now next, we need to provide the Azure DevOps organization. So for this, we need to go to our DevOps account and simply click on this Azure DevOps logo. Now click on your URL and simply copy and paste it over here. Next, we will be requesting first for private project. Later on, we will refill this form and go for granting the access for our public projects. So over here we have selected for private project. So these 4 information are required for filling the form for getting the grant for our parallelism. So we will simply click on submit. Once this is done, we will click here on submit another response, and we will fill all of them which we have filled just now. So we have entered our name. We will enter our email ID. Next, we will paste the organization. So we'll copy this URL and paste it over here. Now we will select the public option for project. Now over here, we will paste the URL for our public project. But before that, we have 2 sections in our activity guide. We have filled up for private project. Now for public project, there are 2 types. You can use GitHub project as well to fill up this form, and you can use Azure repo link as well. So for getting this public project or any public project available on your GitHub, this is how you can get the link of your repo. So let's open up a GitHub public project. So for that, we will go to github.com, and we need to sign up or sign in into our account. And within this, we will go through any repository which is public, and over here click on this code section, and within this you can copy this repo by going to your HTTPS, copy the link of your Git repo and provide it within this section. And within the last section, you need to provide the reason why you are granting for the access of public project parallelism. So you need to provide an explanation. This is how we have seen for GitHub. We will also go to our GitHub repo, and within this GitHub repo we have seen, we will go to Azure repo. Under Azure repos, we will simply copy this URL which is shown in the URL section. So we can paste that over here. So we can include GitHub links as well, or we can provide multiple repos as well by simply using semicolon and a space and paste the other project as well within this section of providing the public repositories. Now we will enter here the reason. So we can enter as I am requesting for learning purpose of Azure DevOps, where I want to proceed with a public project as per the lab. So this is the way you can provide the reason why you are requesting the parallel job for public project. Once that is done, simply click on submit. So it will take around 2 to 3 business days for Microsoft to review the your access granting. It will review your project and requirement. Once that is done, private project parallelism is granted very easily, but for public project it may take time. Even sometimes you will need to re-verify or provide the explanation again. So you need to check whether parallelism has been granted for your public project or not. If that is not done, you will need to refill this form with a more detailed explanation and why is it important for you to get the access of public projects. So how you can check whether the access of parallelism has been provided or not? Simply you need to go to your Azure DevOps organization, and under organization settings you will scroll till the pipeline section. Under that you have parallel jobs. Simply click on it and check for the Microsoft hosted agents. Over here we can see 0 parallel jobs for private project, and for public projects as well it is 0 parallel jobs. Now I will switch to the organization where we have access of parallelism. The parallelism has been granted in that organization. So over here we can see the parallel jobs request has been provided for public project, and it is mentioned as free tier instead of 0 parallel jobs. And for same under public project we have 10 parallel jobs instead of 0 parallel jobs, which I have shown you in the previous organization. So this is how you can get free access of parallelism within your Azure DevOps account. Once this is done, we have also seen how we can check the access of freely available parallelism within our Azure DevOps account. Once this is done, you can share your learning on LinkedIn. Why is it important, and how this LinkedIn learning will help you when you are looking for a job within a job market. Further, we have a community on Cloud School which you can go through and share your learning as a win. Over here you can see a sample post of one of our participants who have posted on LinkedIn about their learning. So you can also go through this and get a better idea why it is important and how you can showcase your learning. So coming to our next section, here we have troubleshooting section. Within this, one of our participant has faced issue that public project option was not found. So I will show this scenario as well. When we click on new project, over here we can select public project, but for some of the users there is a possibility, like as I have provided over here, when we provide the project name we can create this public project, but in some case you won't be able to select public project for creation, and this is what it is mentioned within this section. So if you want to fix this, you need to go to organization settings, and within organization settings you will find security section. Under that there is policy. So over here you need to enable this allow public projects, and once that is done you can simply if we turn it off we will see how this is affecting. So I have created the exact scenario why some of the users may face this exact issue. So now when I try to click on creation of public project, I won't be able to select the visibility of project as public, and it is grayed out. So this is the issue when you are going to create a public project and you are not able to select as a public project. Then you need to go to policies and enable this allow public project. Then further you can create the public project. So we have discussed about what was the issue along with the fix. Now summarizing all of the lab which we have done so far, we have created a public project. We have created a project, and that was required for getting the public parallelism enabled. And also make sure if you have created a project, you need to go to project settings, and by chance if you have created it as a private project, simply go to project settings. Under visibility you can select the public and click on save. Now this is a public project, then only you will get access for your parallelism from Microsoft. So we have created a public project inside our DevOps organization, and that was required to get access of parallelism for public projects within our organization. So that's why we have created that project. Later on we filled a form which helps us to request for a parallelism for our organization. Over there we have filled up these set of fields, and for private project and public project both of them had same process till the settings of 4 steps. Later on, for public projects, there were 2 more sections included where we need to provide the links of public projects along with the reason we have filled that form. So that was done within this lab, and once this is done, we need to wait for 2 to 3 business days to get access of Parallelism for our Azure DevOps account. I hope you all have got something fruitful today and enjoyed learning something new with K21 Academy. Thank you.